So I don't know what the overall theme of this reunion was, I surely can't tell, but each one of these ladies looked like a bottle of La Vie Belle. Let's discuss. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Beasley here. Hope you all are staying cool, calm, and collected out there. I wanted to come with you guys today and talk about the overall Real Housewives Potomac Season 6 reunion. So first off, y'all, what was this season? What was this season about? Please let me know. Now, as far as the reunion goes, I want to talk about the fashion. You know, I love fashion. I'm into fashion. So we're going to talk about the fashions. I'm going to name it from worst to best. Who came dressed to impress and who looked a hot-ass mess. First off, worst, I want to give it to Giselle. Giselle continues to just look like the soccer mom from prom. You know, before I go in on everybody, I will say nobody looked bad. Like, this is just me roasting and gagging, but also giving you guys my authentic opinion. I genuinely think that everybody, for the most part, looked good, especially in comparison to the lackluster ass Beverly Hills reunion. Like that, those girls did not bring it at all. But Giselle, for the most part, she was the worst dressed, but she didn't look terrible. She just looked plain. She played it safe as usual. Giselle she just plays it safe all the time. But I will say I did like the shade of blonde that she chose for her hair. I mean, her and Karen kind of had the same hair. And that brings me to the second worst dress, which was Karen. I liked Karen's hair. I loved her makeup. Hated her dress. Her dress looked good from far away, but on person, like in camera, it looked very cheap to me. Like it looked very like thrifty. Like I just didn't like it at all. Then we have Robin. Very butch. And then next we have Wendy. Her whole dress, her whole look looked good, but that pussy flower on her shoulder ruined the whole entire look for me, y'all. Like, that one detail just canceled out the entire look. I mean, her hair and her makeup looked good. I like that she had a lot of body shimmer on. She was glistening, looking all, like, very shimmery and radiant. But for the most part, that pussy flower on the shoulder just completely just killed everything. And then we have a scholar who was there for 2.5 seconds. I don't even know why they even brought her to the reunion. I mean, I feel like she would have gave a little bit more. But for the most part, she looked good. She looked like a 80s Barbie mixed in with a 2000 stripper. Like, that's kind of what she was given. She looked very cute, at the same time sexy. I wasn't really feeling it at first, but seeing it on camera, it looked a lot better. And when I kind of stared at it for a little bit, it started to look better to me. So she gets an A for effort, an A for Escala. And then there's Mia. For the most part, I don't really have anything bad to say about her. I just don't like her. But overall, her look looked pretty good. Her dress looked good. She looked cute. That's all I have. She looked cute. And then we get into Candiace. I love Candiace's dress, but I hate that fat ass wig. It just completely almost kills the look, but for the most part, Candiace looks good. Candiace's makeup is always on point. Like, she's a makeup girl. She has a great face for makeup. So she looks good. I just hate these fat lace fronts that she's always in. Best dressed, hands down. Can't stand her at all, but Ashley looked absolutely stunning, amazing, and striking. I gotta give it to her. She didn't give much this season, but she came to the reunion giving a good look. I will say Ashley, she cleans up very well. Like, y'all, I cannot stand Ashley's ass at all. But that does not negate the fact that the girl is gorgeous and she's pretty and she looked the best to me out of everybody at the reunion. Like, you get an A for effort, Ashley, as well. So then I want to talk about Nicki Minaj as a host. Like, this is the first time Andy has ever given up the reins, even though it was temporary. He gave up the reins for Nicki Minaj to host. And I must say, Nicki did a great job. Like, that is one talent that Nicki has besides rapping and acting, is her hosting. She's good at hosting Queen Radio, even though I can't stomach to listen to that. I mean, that's really just fan service to the Barbs. They hear her like rant and rave all day. It can be entertaining to some, but at certain points her voice gets very annoying to me. But overall, she came and she asked the questions that were on everybody's mind. She did a great job, unfiltered, no holds bar. And for the most part, everybody kept saying that she went in on everybody, but I feel like everybody pretty much took everything in stride and they embraced her very well. Overall though, if they're going to continue this trend, they need to bring in some YouTubers and some other personalities as well. For one, I want to see Funky Dineva, Alexander Rogers, and Claudia Jordan host some reunions down the line. They put in their dues, they deserve it. And I feel like Funky Dineva, Alexander Rogers, and Claudia Jordan are all Bravo friendly. Like, they have been reviewing them shows from day one, and Claudia Jordan used to be on the show, so she wouldn't be able to ask questions that a lot of people who don't work behind the scenes or don't know the inner workings of a Real Housewives show, she would ask those certain questions. And I want to see those three host the reunions in the near future if they're going to continue this trend of having like celebrity guests and guest hosts. But back to Nicki Minaj, I must say she's doing a great job basically keeping all the heat off of Kenneth Petty for this whole entire trial that he has going on. Like everything that she's been doing has been a great distraction from all of that. So kudos to you, girl. You think you're slick. Now, as far as the reunion goes, I'm not going to go blow by blow because I ain't got time. But I will say there are some topics that I want to talk about, and the first thing is Giselle and Karen squashing their beef, which, y'all, them two keep up a beef because it gives either one of them a storyline. That's really what it was, especially in Giselle's case. Giselle, for the most part, never really has a real storyline going on at all. Like, at least Karen throughout the years had a storyline up until this season. I feel like Karen's storyline this season was absolutely non-existent. I mean, not excusing her, but you know, everyday life is boring. Not every day feels like a storyline. There's periods in your life where nothing happens. And I will say that's kind of what happened with Karen this season besides her renewing her vows to Ray. But them two squashing their beef, it was great to see, but they're going to be back feuding again. That's what they are. They are the new Nene and Kim. That's Giselle and Karen. And speaking of storylines, Nicki Minaj called out Ashley for having a lack of storyline. Like, she was the first person Nicki went at. And inquiring minds really wanted to know. And you know, Ashley, I gotta give it to her. Even though I can't stand her, she gives like very beauty pageant answers. Like, she has an answer for everything. And she basically said, like, you know, I've been on this show for 6 seasons. And, you know, basically she was saying, like, I've given a lot to the show. When really, girl, Michael was the main reason why you've been on the show. Kind of like Cynthia and Peter. Like, that's what you guys are. You're the new Cynthia and Peter. You and Michael. Like, his antics is what keeps you on the show. When, honestly, if Michael was black, it would have got you put off the show. But one thing I noticed about Ashley, she was sitting way on the end, and a lot of people don't know this, but when it comes to the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunions or Real Housewives reunions in general, if you're sitting on the end, you're risking about to fall off. Basically, you're on the chopping block if you're sitting like way to the end. I then want to talk about Wendy, y'all. Wendy, in my opinion, kind of got on my nerves a little bit throughout this whole entire reunion. She was just looking for a moment. She was being thirsty, y'all. Wendy was thirsty for some camera time, thirsty for a moment, and thirsty to solidify her spot next season, which I feel like she's coming back next season like Wendy. Like, I feel like because she was in jeopardy her first season, she's trying to do anything and everything, including plastic surgery, to bring her on to the next season, when it's just like, girl, like, calm down. Like I was actually even siding with Robin, like, girl, can you let me talk? Like, can you let us talk? Like, and like I've said this before, unpopular opinion, I agree with Robin and Giselle's assessments of Wendy. Like, Wendy out of nowhere was Miss Bookworm, Miss 4 Degrees, and then bam, she became Tatiana like in the span of like 6 months. And then she comes with these tits and an ass. It's just like, it's like a whole entire like 180. And it's just like, it happened so fast to where it would have caught anybody off guard in any friend group. And I got secondhand embarrassment from Wendy holding up those text messages she printed out, and Andy even called her out. She was just like, oh, that's nice that you have those props, Wendy, but that doesn't really help your story. Like, I felt so embarrassed for her. I'm just like, Wendy, simmer down, girl. So Nicki Minaj then asked Karen, Mia, and Ashley that if they had $100 million, would they be with their men today? And the short answer is no. Absolutely not. Especially in the case of Mia and Ashley. In Mia's case, it was the fast ticket out of the strip club. In Ashley's case, it was the fast ticket out of not having to pay bills and not having responsibilities. Like, no. Like, nobody would want to be with G's old geriatric ass, and nobody for damn sure would want to sleep with Michael's old cuttlebone crypt keeper looking ass. Like, nobody wants an old dick man. So then they talk about colorism. Y'all, there's colorism on the show. Like, we can't negate the fact of what Candiace and Wendy go through. Even though some people don't even consider Candiace dark skinned. She's kind of like that in-between shade, but it is what it is. She's darker than the rest. Like, it is what it is. Like, I noticed that they always expect an apology for the lighter skinned girls. The lighter skinned girls expect everybody to bow down to them and apologize to them. But yet when they wrong Candiace or when they wrong Wendy, they never see what they did wrong and they never apologize to them. And if they do apologize to them, it's very half-assed, like, oh, I'm sorry I made you feel that way. There's colorism on this show. There's colorism on this show. This show is slowly going to hell in a handbasket, y'all. If you don't see it, then you just ignorant at this point. Like, I'm sorry. Now, granted, their colorism isn't really like in your face like Basketball Wives was, but it's there. It's very much there. And then we get into Candiace, y'all. So Candiace, I will say, even though Candiace is an asshole, she's a perfectly bleached asshole with glitter all over it. Candiace, come here. Listen to me, big sis. You gotta play the game. You gotta play the game when it comes to these girls. And I noticed that she started to play the game when Karen told her and gave her an underhanded warning saying that, like, if you keep up this attitude, we're just gonna tune you out. That means they're gonna ice her out like they did Monique. And Candiace kind of shaped up a little bit when she started taking up for Ashley and taking up for Giselle out of nowhere against Nicki Minaj. And even Nicki Minaj was taking it back like, girl, what? Like, why are you defending them? And even I was like that, but then it clicked in my head. I'm like, okay, Candiace, I see you. You're trying to play the game, you're trying to play it smart, and you're trying to have an alliance with Giselle, and you're probably trying to play like nice nasty, or probably like kill Ashley with kindness, so that Ashley really has nobody to go against next season, and then bam, what storyline would Ashley have then? But Candiace, you and this attitude, granted sometimes your attitude is very much warranted. I will say 9 times out of 10 the girls come for her and she finishes it and they cannot handle what she says. And I think why they can't handle it is because it's just her tone, like the way she speaks. Like she's very like, she had that little Kim, that little like to her voice. Like it's very commanding. Like, how dare you? The audacity. Like that's Candiace right there. But Candiace girl, you have the possibility of being that girl. Candiace got a shout out from Toni Braxton and Anita Baker. 2 ladies that can sing any house down. Candiace, you got a cosign. Candiace, you could possibly bring back the old school R&B with a new school twist. That's your lane. You could really bring that to the mainstream in the forefront, Candiace. Candiace, I'm a fan. Your album was great. And I want you to just play the game. Kill these girls with kindness and continue to put out music and continue to have a storyline. And also play the game in your marriage too. You need to like respect Chris a little bit more. Like I don't like the way that she talks to Chris, but Chris sits up there and takes it because Chris ain't got no other money or income coming in. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, Candiace, listen to me, sis, big sis. You got this. You have the potential of being the first housewife to trans over into a mainstream, probably even B-list career. Hell, over time it may become A-list. Who knows? But Candiace, girl, you got the co-sign from Nicki Minaj when you sang the house down. Does she belt like Toni Braxton or Tamar Braxton? No. But in the grand scheme of things, like I always say, in music, when the bar is in hell, Candiace will definitely excel. Now, Candiace, girl, you're there. You just need to keep playing the game to get there. You even got the co-sign from Nicki Minaj, who pushed you to sing. Girl, listen to me. Play the role. Do what you got to do for camera time and do what you got to do to promote all of your projects. And be Kandi Burruss to the Potomac and really just do the damn thing, girl, because you have the potential and the possibility of going mainstream. And lastly, y'all, I want to talk about the future of Potomac. I don't know where they're going to go next season. If anything, it's going to be more cattiness and more vitriol and more infighting because that's what drives ratings. Like, even though this season was really about absolutely nothing at all. This season was pointless. This probably had the highest ratings out of any other housewife show this year. So they're going to continue spiraling down this very, very shaky path. And a lot of people on this cast are easily triggered or can say things that can really trigger other people. And they've already crossed over to the dark side and they're going to continue to go all the way downhill, y'all. Like the Potomac girls they're no longer like cookie cutter and wholesome. They're borderline ratchet, to be honest with you. Now y'all may get mad at me saying like, oh, why you calling black women ratchet, blah, blah, blah. All the other housewives are ratchet. I'm talking about these girls. I have a higher expectation for these girls because I actually care about these girls. So I just want... Like, I'm going on a tangent, but it's just like this shade culture. Just everything just shade, 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 y'all. It's really, it's getting old, tired, through, and delayed. But as far as the cast go, I'll be a hypocrite and say that I'm fine with everybody coming back. But however, in Mia's case, she may not come back. She's talking out against the show on social media. I think the problem with Mia is she's just socially awkward. Like, that's what it is. Like, one socially awkward person to the next, I can tell that she's socially awkward. That's her problem. And then she's a first season bitch on top of that. So she doesn't really know how to navigate reality television. And like I said, everybody deserves a second chance to redeem themselves in reality television, in my opinion. So I'm fine with her coming back. I still don't like her ass. Maybe she could change that, because I didn't like Wendy last season. And she completely did a 180 in my opinion. And I ended up loving her. But Mia coming back or may not coming back, if she doesn't come back, that's fine with me. Ashley may or may not, it's alleged that she may not be brought back or demoted. That's perfectly fine with me as well, to be honest with you. Due to Michael, not even due to herself, they should have been up out of here. Like, back in like season 3, they should have been gone. Or whenever he like grabbed that cameraman's pussy, that they should have been up out of here after that. But here they are. They continue to play the game and play the role. It is what it is. If they come back, I'm fine. If they don't, they don't. But yeah, y'all. Those are my views on the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 6. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm going to come back at you guys, hopefully, with some more content.